Nipo today is to witness and hold. So in our isolation, I know so many of us miss being held by our grandchildren or our family. So as I read this, I'd like you to just place your hands somewhere on your legs. Can be on your belly, on your heart. It's a way of just imagining of holding yourself. Just as the warmth of summer can make a cricket sing, the quality of being held enlivens the heart. It seems that we've been kind of battered by this pandemic. We sometimes can get obsessive about trying to problem solve. But as life pares us down into only what is essential, it becomes clear that the deepest suffering of heart and spirit cannot be solved, only witnessed and held. Frequently, this reflex to solve, rescue, and fix removes us from the tenderness at hand, for often intimacy arrives not from any attempt to take away the pain, not from working out, but from being with. Pain by pain and tension by tension, after all my energies fail, the strength of love waits in receiving, in accepting, and not problem solving, in listening and affirming. So as you breathe in, just imagine you're breathing in whatever thought of compassion you can for yourself. It can be as simple as, okay. You might be able to even say, I love you to yourself. And as you breathe out, just imagine letting go of whatever problems swirl around us today. So another breath in. As we breathe in compassion, love, acceptance. And breathe out and let go. And this time as you breathe in, see if you can lengthen the spine and reach the top of the head. And as you breathe out, slowly drop your chin, and now just drop the shoulders. And now slowly round over and allow your hands or arms to land wherever they land. Maybe a little shake of the head as you relax your neck. And then slowly coming up to a standing position, and getting ready for tapping. But before we start, just notice the body. Maybe noticing any tension or numbness. And then when you're ready, it's the right fist on the left chest. Is your arm relaxed? Can you feel that vibration in the body? And as you move your hand to your left shoulder, maybe you're thinking shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. inside of that left arm, coming all the way down, and clap the hands. And the top of the hand and the fingers and the thumb. And slowly coming up the top of your arm and your shoulder and your armpit. And today, focus as you come down that left side. And then coming across the belly, and then it's the left fist on the right chest. If you can close your eyes, please do, and just focus on whatever you feel. And then moving to that right shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder. And coming down the inside of that right arm, coming all the way down, clapping your hand. Diane, even as you clap your hands, just notice what happens with the wrists. And the top of the hand and the fingers and the thumb. And then slowly coming up the top of the arm to the shoulder, and then the armpit, heart, heart, heart meridian, and down that right side. And as you tap the organs just below the ribs, perhaps remembering that the stomach holds worry, and the liver holds anger as you let go. And then moving just below the ribs to the kidneys. And the tailbone. And down the backs of the legs. And if you can reach the feet and the toes, let's hang out here for a few seconds. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up the front of the legs and the hips and the glutes. And down the outside of the legs slowly. Stomach meridian, stomach meridian, stomach meridian. Outside of the ankles, inside of the ankles. And slowly coming up the inside of the legs. Spleen, 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 spleen. And stopping 2 inches below your belly button. Are your shoulders relaxed? Are your arms relaxed? Breathe out. Perhaps you can even feel the energy coming down out of the mind and into the body. And then slowly stop. Now notice maybe those places that felt numb or achy. Just noticing how they feel. Slowly bring your arms up to the horizon, so they're about shoulder height. So as we give ourselves a hug today, I'd like you to think of it as, yes, acknowledging yourself, but also feel what happens to the shoulder blades. So take a nice breath in for starters and reach the fingertips away and feel the shoulders, feel the arms. And now take another nice breath in, and as you breathe out, allow one arm to come on top of the other as you reach around and really grab those shoulder blades and kind of pull them apart. And now as you open the arms, maybe not so high this time, see if you can feel how the shoulder blades move together. So one more breath in, and as you breathe out, the opposite arm comes on top. Really maybe using the hands to pull the shoulder blades apart. And as you open the arms, focus on the shoulder blades coming together. So we're going to do it one more time. Breath in, breath out. As you hug and pull those shoulder blades apart. And then as you open, really draw those shoulder blades together. Oi, 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 oi. And last one, the opposite arm on top. And then down. Open. And shoulder blades down. And relax the arms. So I'd like you to notice the feet before we do our next arm exercise. Look down, and are the outsides of the feet and the pinkies, are those parallel? My feet are kind of gnarly, and if I try to line up the inside, they're really not that lined up. And now straighten the spine, lift the top of the head, engage the core, and just see what this feels like. And now see if you can keep that straight stature with the lower part of the body. As you lift the right arm up, follow that right hand up to the sky, back and down. Don't move the feet. Come up again, reaching with the fingertips, following the hand. Oi. And then our third one, up. Pressing down with the feet at the same time. And now going in the opposite direction, so you're going back. Are you following that hand? Down. And you're only taking it to a spot that feels like a good stretch. And here we go with our third one. Back, up, and down. Close your eyes for a moment and feel one shoulder versus the other. And then when you're ready, it's the other hand goes up and around and back and down. Eyes following that hand. Oh, I think that was the third one. And now back and up and around and down and back and up and down. And last one, back, up and down. And breathe and relax. So working with the shoulder blades again, we're going to do the one where it's two fists, palms facing down, elbows by the side. Take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, punch out and feel the shoulder blades separate. And now turn the palms up and pull the elbows in and down as you really bring those shoulder blades together. Maybe you can even move your elbows, a little bit back behind you. So here we go for 2 more. Pushing out, stretching those shoulder blades. Fists up, elbows in. Oh, those shoulder blades are trying to touch. Last one, stretch, fist out, fist up, and down. Relax the arms. And then for those of you who were not here early, Elizabeth and I were talking about the serratus, I love the serratus. So let's just bring our arms up and just reach forward however you like. And just notice. Can you feel the shoulders kind of pulling you forward? What do you feel? And now bringing the arms back, down by your side. And now let's do palms up and just reach with the pinkies, just the pinkies. And notice where you feel it. And then slowly coming back down. So that, I just want you to really get in touch with different small, slow muscles. So we're going to do maybe a little bit of twisting for the lower back. Even though we do this almost every week, just flinging your arms around you. If you're a walker, even stopping halfway through your walk and doing a little bit of this, it's almost a reminder to the lower back. Let go, let go, let go. So 3, 2, and 1. And now when we roll forward, I was talking to Kim about loosening that upper back. We're actually going to place our arm right about where our breasts are. So as you breathe in, drop your chin to your chest. And as you breathe out, try to imagine just the upper back is rounding over that arm. And now, who would have thought that engaging your core makes a difference? So engage your core in and up as you slowly roll forward. And just see, you're not striving. Legs are sort of straight right now, but the knees are soft. And just notice where your fingertips are. And now bend your knees and slowly roll it up. So this is what my Pilates person calls a parlor game. I'd like you to take your hands and massage your abdomen. So we're not really pressing hard, we're just kind of rubbing. So above the belly button, below the belly button, really rub, 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 rub. So even though we call this a parlor game, I think there's something about waking up the muscles in the core. And then slowly come to stillness. Breathe in and drop the chin. As you breathe out, wrap the upper body as you slowly roll down. And I don't know, I've just done this with about 10 people in person, and usually your fingertips are closer to the ground. So a little shake of the head. done this before and you need to look, that's fine. I'd like you to bring such a generous bend to your knees that your belly is resting on your thighs and your elbows are on your knees and your hands are under your chin, like you're the great thinker. And now just imagine that you can relax like this. This is often a great relaxation and a really gentle stretch for the lower back. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly coming up. And then one more thing for the arms before we go down to the mat. Bring your arms out to the side, palms facing up. And now roll the hands forward so the thumbs are coming up and down, and keep moving as far as you can to rotate the arms in their socket. And pause. And now we're rolling the hands in the other way so the thumbs come up and over. And now imagine that the thumbs can roll back and down towards the earth and feel what that feels like. Breathe here. One more, the thumbs come up and over, and the whole, as the hand really rotates, you're doing it by rotating the arms. And now the thumbs come back up and over, and the thumbs reach down. And relax. I just remembered that Diane had said wrists. So I'm not sure, Diane, given your wrist, if this is going to be great for you or not. I'm going to trust. So as you clasp your hands, it's really just your fingertips. You know, it's only coming like to that first little crease. And now just begin making figure eights with your wrists, really gentle figure eights. And now here's the part that gets kludgy, but nobody's watching, it's just you. Begin going in the opposite direction. And it usually feels like it kind of doesn't even want to know what it's supposed to do. Going in the opposite direction, slowing it down. And then coming to stillness. Plastering that right elbow right next to your rib. Palm is facing up. Now bring the left hand over onto the fingers and apply just enough pressure that you're stretching the tendons and the underside of the arm. I know Kathy and I have talked about this before. Often, when those tendons in the top of the arm feel tight, it's because these tendons in the bottom, oi, oi, oi. And then release and give a little shake. So this, I usually have to walk around, but I'm going to chance that we're going to do it. Bring your thumb, your hand up in front of your thumb is facing you. And now allow your thumb to move backwards and around, and maybe grab that thumb with your other hand. So depending how far the wrists move, the pinky is facing you and the thumb is facing out. And the left hand is applying a little bit of pressure to that thumb pad. which has a lot of tension. And then release and shake. And now the left, the elbow is fastened to the hip. The palm is facing up. And the reason why I do that, it's really just to stabilize the arm so that it's not like turning one way or the other. The fingers come, the right hand comes up and applies some pressure. And you can feel it in the front of that arm. And I know, Diane, whatever arm it is, you're being really gentle. Actually, we're all being gentle. We're just taking this stretch to a place where we can breathe into it and appreciate those tendons in the underside of our arm that get so tight. And now here we go on the left side. I'm starting to get a frog. Hand comes up, thumb is facing you. Now turn the thumb back and around so the thumb is facing as much away from you, the pinky is towards you. The right hand comes behind and grabs that thumb. And if you don't quite have it, it's fine. It's just this is such a good hand and wrist. And we've done it enough in class that probably a lot of people remember. And maybe it's not even the wrist for you today, it's the pressure in the thumb pad. And then release and give a little shake. So slowly coming on down to your back, your knees are bent and your feet are flat on the mat. So one of the most subtle but really best things sometimes for your lower back is the pelvic tilt. So the knees are bent, the arms are relaxed next to the body. If you need your hands on your belly to have awareness, feel free. As you breathe in, fill your belly with air like a balloon, and you'll feel that your tailbone is tilting down towards the mat. And as you breathe out, the tailbone tilts up and the lower back presses into the mat. So it's like the rocking back and forth of the tailbone, and the breathing brings the opening to the lower back. So a breath in, nice big belly, tailbone down, breath out, tailbone lifts, presses the lower back into the mat. So 3 more, breath in, and breath out. Now, don't try quite so hard. Just see if the breath can kind of guide you. So gentle breath in, tailbone tilts. Gentle breath out, and the tailbone reaches up towards the ceiling. Breath in, the back arches a little. And a breath out as the tailbone reaches for the ceiling and the lower back down. And maybe even in those 5 little tiny movements, you can actually feel some letting go in the lower back. Excuse me, I'm really froggy today. Now straighten out that right leg and keep the left foot bent. And now palms are facing down. Flex the toe back towards your forehead and press the heel into the mat. And now really focus on that right hip. Focus on the right glute. And if you can engage that right glute, it actually helps the right hip flexor open. And now I want you to engage the core. The small muscles of the core at the edge and the big muscles of the core. And the more you engage the core and the glute, the lighter that right leg is as it rises up until both thighs are equal. If you want to engage more, press down with the hands, press down with the shoulders. Each time you breathe out, really breathe out through that right hip, that right heel, keeping those toes flexed. If you could hold for 2 more breaths, please do. Take a nice slow breath in, and as you breathe out, drop that right leg. So knowing that when you engage the core and you engage the glute, the right leg doesn't have to work as hard. So flex that right toe, engage the core, engage that right glute, and this time, let your leg float all the way up. Stopping when it starts to bend and just keeping it as straight as you can. And now really feel the toes come down towards the forehead. And now I'd like you to reach behind and put your hands behind that right thigh. And I'd like you to point your toe up as much as you can for a breath or two and feel how it stretches the front of the ankle. For me, actually, the front of my ankle is really tight. So just doing it to whatever effort you can. And now keeping that toe pointed, still holding on to the back of your leg, I'd like you to bend your knee. And maybe you start thinking about your hamstring here. And once the knee is bent, flex the toes again and slowly straighten the leg. So what we're doing here is a little bit of a twofer. We're doing a little bit of stretching of the ankle, but we're also kind of flossing our hamstring. So point the toe, feel the ankle, keeping the toe pointed, hands behind the thigh, the knee bends, the foot flexes. You can almost feel the hamstring engage in a different way. As you slowly lift the leg, the toes are coming down towards the forehead. So one more, point, point, point. Oh, stretch the front of that ankle. Keeping the toe pointed, bend the knee. Now flex the foot and slowly that right leg lifts. The last stretch for the back of the right leg. If you have a belt handy and it's too hard for you to reach behind your thigh, always feel free to use a belt. Release the hands. Take a nice breath in. Big breath in. And now slow breath out as you lower that leg. And then giving that right leg a little shake. And bend both knees and drop the thighs in towards your body. And holding on to either the shins or the thighs, roll around a little. And think of this as an act of love for your lower back. So your lower back's probably informing you what feels good. And maybe you place your hands on your knees and you either start rotating your knees in the same direction or in opposite directions. Feeling the hip joints. And then coming to stillness and going in the opposite direction. And then coming to stillness and dropping those feet on the mat. Straighten out that left leg. Toes are flexed back towards your forehead. And now we're back to really feeling the inside of that left hip, the psoas. Palms are facing down. Shoulders are facing down. The more you engage that left glute, you're really encouraging that left hip flexor to relax. Now engage your core as well. Left glute, core, the leg floats up until the thighs are right next to each other. So that left leg is at a diagonal. Breathe in and breathe out through the heel. Maybe you're pressing down with your arms and your shoulders. If you could work this for a few more breaths, please do. Really work that core. You know, if your core gets tired and you relax it for a minute, can you notice that all of a sudden the left leg gets heavy? So yay core, yay glute, holding, holding, holding. Slowly inhaling and slowly exhaling that left leg down. Maybe give that left leg a little shake. And now engage the glute, really engage the core. Left leg is straight. Left leg floats up to the ceiling. So you don't have to grab your leg right away. You can. By just pausing here and really pushing out through the heel, you can really feel the stretch in the back of the left leg. And now wrapping your hands around the back of that left thigh. Point, 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 point that left toes, those left toes, up towards the ceiling. And maybe even if you can stand to hold for a breath or two. Sometimes my front of my leg is so tight, my ankle, that I get a cramp and I have to stop and shake it out. But if you can hold and point and feel that stretch in the front of the ankle. And now keeping that pointing toe, bend the knee and bring the heel down towards the buttocks. And now flex the toes again. You can probably feel something underneath your hands when you do that. Keeping the toe flexed, straighten the leg. Feel the hamstring stretch. Now point those toes. Bend the leg. Bring the heel towards the back of the thigh. Flex the foot. Slowly lift the leg. Maybe hold here for a breath and really feel those hamstrings stretch. And now, last one, point the toe. Feel the front of the ankles. As you bend the knee, heel comes in towards the thigh. And now flex the foot. Straighten the leg. And release the hands. Take a nice slow breath in through your nose, making sure the core is engaged, the glute is engaged, as you slowly lower that leg down. Take a nice breath here, and a nice breath out. So before we move on, I'm going to do our kind of, I call them enforced bicycle ride. And the reason why I like this is not only are you stretching the hips, but we can turn it into a core exercise if you're up to it. So the right knee bends, the right thigh drops in towards your body. Hands are on the outside of that right shin. And you really kind of give it a little tug as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you release the hands. The right leg straightens and the left leg comes in. And the hands are on the outside of the shin. So a nice breath in as you tug with the hands. And a breath out as the left leg straightens and the right comes in. So we're doing one more without including the core. So a nice breath in as you tug with the hands and stretch. And a breath out, the right leg straightens and the left leg comes in. Breath in, as you tug on that left shin. And a breath out as the left leg straightens and the right comes in. So this time you have the option that when you straighten your leg, you hover it above the ground and you use your core to do that. And do whatever's right for your body today. So a nice breath in as you pull that right thigh in. A breath out as the right leg straightens and maybe it hovers above the ground as the left drops in. A breath in as you tug on the left. And a breath out as the left straightens and maybe it hovers. Breath in as you tug on the right shin. A breath out as the right straightens and you tug on the left. So we're going to do, let's do 3 more. So breath in, tug on the left. Breath out, left straightens, right comes in. Breath in, tug on the right. Right straightens, left comes in. If you're tired of hovering the straight leg, you can always switch back to the other way. Breath in, pull on the left. Breath out, left straightens and right comes in. Breath in, pull on the right. Breath out, right straightens and hovers. Breath in as you tug on the left. Breath out, left straightens and hovers. And then both knees come in. And we're going to do our little, so not just for Kim, but for everybody. I'd like you to notice when you bring your thighs together and you pull on your shins, can you feel how it truly is stretching the lower back? For most of us, that's like the point of biggest stretch. But if it's not, just notice. And now allow the thighs to come away and make the thighs as wide as you like. And bring the thighs in. And now chances are you're going to feel it more in the hips and the hip flexors. So encouraging you always to notice little movements. And then slowly release and drop your feet on the mat. So I'd like you to rest your elbows on the mat so they become kind of like these supports. Drop your thighs in towards your body and straighten your legs. And now with straight legs, open the legs and allow the hands to support the legs, the outside of the thighs. And now we're going to grease those hips a little. So come back in, legs touch, breathe out, legs open into a V. 2 more, breath in, legs touch, breath out, they open into a V. And then this is our last movement, breath in as they touch, and breath out as they open into a V. And this time, the hands support the thighs. The elbows are on the floor so that the legs can relax for a breath or two. Slowly, the legs come back together. And now begin making little movements with the ankles, either in opposite directions or in the same. And maybe in switch. And now bend the knees and drop the feet and roll onto your right side. So you can either grab if you have a blanket or a pillow, put that under your head or put your right arm under your head. So we're not going to do the whole hip routine. I have to move my books so you can see. But this, Diane, is also a strengthening for the ankles. So legs are straight, feet are flexed. And now when you lift that left leg, just lift it about 5 inches. So it almost would be like you're standing on the earth. And now point that left toe and begin making little tiny, tiny, tiny circles in one direction. 1, 2, 3. If you're near a wall or something and you have to scooch away, 4, 5, and now switch and go in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a nice breath in and slowly lower that left leg. And now bend both knees and bring your thighs in as far as feels comfortable. This should be a nice stretch for your lower back. You can even round over a little. It's like being in a fetal position. And then when you're ready, let's roll onto our belly on the way to the other side. Placing your hands face down, kind of align your thumbs up with your shoulders, and now lengthen the legs away from you. And maybe even this isn't enough of an opening for the front of the hips. And now the way I'd like you to engage your core is to imagine that you're pulling your tailbone up towards your throat. And you can really feel that core engage. And maybe you can even feel more of an opening in the hips. And now relax. And here we go. This time we're going to lift. So engage the tailbone up towards the throat. And lift the head and shoulders off the mat. Keep engaging that core. That's what protects your lower back. And now imagine those shoulder blades are kind of coming closer together. Take a nice breath in and a breath out. If you're up for it, we're going to do one more. So breath in, breath as you lengthen the legs away, breath out, pull the tailbone, the core up towards the throat, and then slowly lift the upper body. Make sure your head is just coming along for the ride. There's no lifting, straining of the neck. And then slowly back down. And when you're ready, rolling on to the left side. You can use the left arm or a pillow. You're straightening the whole body as much as you can. You're flexing the feet. And just by even lengthening that right leg, can you feel an opening in the right front of that hip? And then slowly lift that right leg, maybe 5 inches. And now point the toe and circle 5 slow, tiny movements in one direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly lower that right leg. Roll on to your belly. And push back to a child. So a way to actually turn child into more of a stretch for your lower back. Bring your knees as wide apart as you can. And now come up a little bit, like you're almost on a table. And now engage your core as you drop your buttocks. And you can almost feel as the buttocks comes down, if the core is engaged, the lower back stretches. And then relax. And moving the hands to the right. And you can stack that left hand on top of the right, or just come to what's comfortable for you. And now, without really doing it, just imagine that left hip is sinking, sinking, sinking towards the earth. 2 breaths here as you feel the stretch in the left. And back to center and moving to the left. Maybe you're stacking that right hand on top of the left. And now in your mind's eye, that right hip is dropping, dropping, dropping. As you feel the stretch in the right. And coming back to center and slowly pushing your way up to a seated position. And bringing the soles of your feet together far away from your body. So your legs kind of look like a big triangle. And holding on to either the shins or just relaxing the hands on the knees. Begin rocking side to side. And now I'd like you to focus on your exhale. Can you feel one sits bone hit and then the other? One and then the other. And slowly coming to stillness. So I've mentioned this before, but when we're tense and, so much uncertainty, actually our pelvic floor moves. So when you find something like that, just breathing out and rocking side to side, you can almost feel your pelvic floor is dropping and relaxing. So feel free to do that whenever you like. So one more stretch for our lower back. We still have our legs shaped like a diamond. I'd like you to lift the top of your head. I'd like you to breathe in and drop your chin. And as you breathe out, just the shoulders round. And pause here. So now the neck is relaxed and the shoulders. And now a little bit of engagement of the core as you slowly bend forward. And stop wherever feels right. Relax the hands on the floor, on the legs. Maybe you give your head a little shake, reminding it to relax. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in. And slow, slow breath out. And the next breath in, coming up slowly. If you need to leave, welcome your day. Thank you for being here. If you want to move into Shavasana, please find your spot. Either legs up on a sofa or a chair. Maybe a pillow under your thighs. But finding a comfortable spot. There, maybe a nice breath in and breath out as the chin drops to the right. And a breath in as it comes to center. And a real slow breath out as the chin drops to the left. And back to center. This time as you breathe out, just imagine those eyes are settling. They're turning inward for the next few minutes, forgetting about the outside world. Maybe the jaw relaxes and the skin and the cheeks grow soft. Perhaps the shoulders grow heavy as they are drawn down by gravity. Releasing, releasing, releasing. And the legs grow heavy. And even the bones in the hands grow heavy. As everything lets go. Perhaps you can even imagine that feeling of floating on water. Maybe you're on a raft, or maybe you're in a boat. And the breath, in a way, is like the water. There's the wave in and the wave out. And as you really allow the breath to breathe you, you can feel a softening in the muscles and the tissues. If the mind kicks in, perhaps you come back to the image of the body lying on the earth, being breathed by the breath. I'm going to read the same poem that I read in meditation by Lama Gedden Rinpoche. Happiness cannot be found through great effort and willpower, but is already there in relaxing and letting go. Don't strain yourself. There is nothing to do. Only our our search for happiness prevents us from seeing it. Don't believe in the reality of good and bad experiences. They are like rainbows, wanting to grasp the ungraspable. You exhaust yourself in vain. As soon as you relax this grasping, space is there, open, inviting, and comfortable. So please, 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 make use of it. All is yours already. Don't search any further. Nothing to do, nothing to force, nothing to want, and everything happens by itself. If you're happy resting where you are, just feel free to stay. If you care to make little movements with the hands and the feet, eventually bending your knees and rolling to one side. And if you're on your side in a fetal position, just for another breath, really notice how healing so similar to staying in Shavasana. If you care to stay there, please do. If you want to slowly push your way up to a seated, and if you feel comfortable doing this, you know, I started talking about holding ourselves, but we do that in many ways. So if you feel comfortable offering your first namaste to yourself, honoring your own light, honoring your practice. And then perhaps offering namaste to others. Everybody's still muted, so just in your mind, maybe you're offering namaste to everyone. So enjoy your day, my dear, sweet